What's up everybody, welcome to more Heroes of the Storm on the channel here, and today we're going into the quarterfinal of the Topachat tournament. Virtus.pro plays against Alternate Fantasy, and the best of 3 series is going to determine which team will move onwards to the semi-final to face Fnatic in the next round in a best of 5. And today in our series we have as the first map Blackheart's Bay. We see Virtus.pro playing it with a double tank. They once again rely on that Leoric that they've already been playing quite a bit. Jaina in the back line, and we also have a Tyrande today in the mix. And Tyrande is one of those heroes that especially Virtus.pro has a bit of a different build for. Sometimes they go into that standard Tyrande style where you try to just burst down targets. We've seen the Owl build, and also for the Russian team it's oftentimes a seasoned marksman and searing arrow build that they are trying to use to get the extra damage out and play her as a bit of a hybrid hero. Something in between a healer and a damage dealer, which can be pretty cool and add a lot to the team. On Blackheart's Bay, we see Alternate Fantasy going into something completely different though. They go full melee there. They have Zagara as their range DPS, the specialist for the bot lane, a very strong solo lane hero of course. And then we have not only that, but we have an Illidan together with a Tyrael, and they're running in a Nubarak as well. So very melee heavy, you try to engage into your opponent, and most of these heroes are also very good to take down camps solo, or at least with a tiny bit of help so that they can get those additional coins. Game number 1 coming up in the best of 3 now, so let's find out together if Alternate Fantasy is able to take it, or if Virtus.pro will win the first map in the series. Welcome everybody to the first game. It is the round of 8 of the Topachat tournament. We have Virtus.pro going up against Alternate Fantasy to the left side of the map. Alternate Fantasy in this best of 3, starting with Crosby on Zagara, Devis on Anubarak, Krolu on Rhaegar. We have Darkmok on Illidan, Blumby on Tyrael, and of course to the right side of the map it is the Russian team. We have Virtus.pro with Sefkaja on Malfurion, BKB on Muradin. Kunichan is playing Leoric for the double tank setup, and we are having Unstable and Tyrande with Andy Lendy playing Jaina. So this is the first map of the best of 3 series. The winner of this will end up in the semi-final, where we are then going to see them go up against Fnatic. For now, as you can already tell, we have Rhaegar with the Colossal Totem on level 1. Very interesting talent here. Again, I want to highlight that I'm actually not observing her. I don't have any influence on the camera. Ho ho! Illidan did not have any influence on what's going to happen with him because, well, he got sniped pretty early there. We have, again, a clean feed that we're casting from, so a big shout out to Karma, who's currently running that clean feed. So just that you guys are aware that I can't show any kind of like talents or numbers in this game, but he's pretty damn good at what he does, so this is going to be a pretty smooth experience, I hope so at least. We were wondering during the draft a little bit where the damage is going to come from for Virtus.pro, because if they are relying very heavily on the stun combination and only have Jaina as the range damage dealer in their setup, so they will rely on the Hunter's Mark and on stun into stun, and then of course trying to snipe a target with the damage coming from Jaina. But with Cleanse being available and Ancestral Healing later on, it's going to become a bit difficult, especially since Anubarak can use his Web Blast to isolate one of the targets, and Tyrael with a potential Sanctification could even try to mess up these builds. The thing is though that we're having for Unstable not the common build on Tyrande. Instead he goes into Seasoned Marksman, and we are probably going to see these Searing Arrows on level 4, so it's more and more likely that it's going to be an auto attack build for Tyrande, and that changes things of course a bit. So Tyrande is very flexible in the way that she can be played, and this is something that Unstable and Virtus.pro are currently trying to use. We see in regards to the talents, nothing really out of the ordinary except for the 2 talents that we've been talking about. Reanimation for Leoric, it's just like the standard talent level 1. I don't really think that I've ever seen Leoric with anything else being picked, at least not in the competitive scene in Europe. A big pressure point already in the mid lane. 4 heroes actually trying to put the damage on Devis, and the tower is already half HP. That means if they get the first bombardment from the ghost ship, the fort in the mid lane is going to fall. That's always what you want to do. If you are able in the early stages of the game to get a tower to half HP, you have enough cannonballs with the first turn in so that you can drop one fort. It's actually pretty cool to know that, so that the mule cannot really screw with your turn-ins or with your plan to take down your opponent. So taking down as many structures as possible in the early game with just sheer manpower and without relying on anything else is pretty important. Fealty upon death has now been used. That gives Leoric additional lane sustain, and I mean currently he's the one who has to go up against Zagara on the solo lane, so it's not really surprising to see that he went for the talent here. Sometimes we see Hardened Bones taken on level 4, but Fealty to Death, that's the case. And as expected, the Searing Arrows on level 4 now for Tyrande. So a very different build that Unstable is currently playing with the hero, and it's going to be really nice in the late game if they can get those Seasoned Marksman stacks up. This is going to be pretty cool for him. So that's where they are trying to get additional damage into play. So it's a utility hero that is going for a damage build. Kuni-chan actually more or less suiciding here, but hero kills in the early game don't give you too much experience. The thing is always that you want to get the coins, you want to get the experience on lane, but Kuni-chan more or less suiciding here. I mean, he must have known that this is not going to work out for him. We have Snowstorm taken on level 2 or level 4 for Jaina in this case, to make sure that she gets the additional damage in. The first turn in already for Virtus.pro, and that means, as already mentioned before, that the mid lane fort is going to fall because of the damage that they applied to the tower early on in the game. The one thing that surprises me just slightly is that Tyrael didn't go for Regeneration Master on level 1. He picked Amplified Healing on level 4. But if you go for Regeneration Master on a map like this, you will get a maximum amount of globes. The only problem with that, of course, is you give up quite a bit of damage. Those 25% extra damage against heroes with your Smite on level 1 is a pretty neat talent to have, and I guess they were worried a bit that they didn't get enough damage into the game there. So if they wanted to have Tyrael even more tanky, then Regeneration Master would have been the weapon of choice, the same talent that currently Nubarak is using. We have on the side of Leoric now Paralyzed taken, so the extra slow to 60% on his Skeleton Swing. Crollo at the top lane was for a second in a bit of trouble. He still is, because he's running into the wrong direction. Yes! You can run, but you can hide, buddy. I'm sorry, but that is not working out for you. So he's already down. That didn't work for him. Bot lane is being pushed. And yeah, it's a pretty fun game that these guys are playing already. We have 3 kills against 1. There's a lot of pressure on the structures. The coins are taken again now that the chests appeared on the map. And with both teams having level 7 on their hands, there's also a double cleanse. One on the side of Team Virtus.pro and the other one for Alternate Fancy. Virtus.pro has established a pretty significant lead in experience, and that came mostly from the structures that they took down in the mid lane. The fort, of course, gone, thanks to the turn-in that we've seen earlier. We have Illidan going into the more standard build with First Aid. You might remember that especially Fnatic is starting to shift away from the level 7 talent. Lowell is currently going into Thrill of Battle on the hero if he goes up against the Jaina. Nice kill against the Nubarak here. The reason why he does that with Thrill of Battle is that once you hit level 13, you get that shield up so much faster that with the mitigation on the spell damage, you have a very nice tool to survive Jaina attacks. So that's why Lowell and Fnatic feel that it's the better talent to take in a few of those lineups in situations. But right now we have the more standard talent taken on the side of Alternate Fancy. A good kill against the Nubarak then. That was the 4th kill for the team in the game, so 4 kills against 1 right now. The March of the Black King has been used for Leoric. We've seen both of the heroics being used like quite a bit. Not only in Tomb, but also the March of the Black King, and especially if you can lock somebody down, that's one of those setups that you can really use to get the maximum amount of damage out of the heroic ability of Leoric. An example would be a good stun, but even a Water Elemental with a slow can help you there. Now, of course, the heroics also coming into play for Alternate Fancy, and Virtus.pro is up at the top lane trying to get the boss, and I don't really think that anybody was expecting this. Kuni-chan is about to move away. Illidan is on, well, yeah, he's trying to hunt in here with the rest of the team. He has, of course, picked Metamorphosis. We have Web Blast for Nubarak, and as you can see, Tyrael hasn't chosen his talent yet. And with him not choosing his talent, it usually means that we will see Sanctification. There's of course the chance that he's going into Judgment and just tries to surprise Rhaegar, who's just waiting to throw out that cleanse in case that he does. But still, having Sanctification against the combo that we're seeing from the opponent's team makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, of course, as mentioned before in the draft, what they could do here is to simply use the Web Blast to web Malfurion, get rid of the cleanse, and then use Judgment on Tyrael to really initiate together with Illidan. So they have 2 different ways to play this, and they decide to play it with Justification, yeah. That would be a nice skill to have as well, Sanctification. I guess if we would have an heroic ability that's called Justification, that would probably be more one of Deckard Cain's things. I mean, we're still all waiting for him as a hero, or at least an announcer in the game. That would be quite nice. But yeah, if he starts to talk, then he's probably gonna justify everything that he did and wanted to do. Ah, stay a while and listen, sweet summer child. But yeah, up to the top lane, we're currently seeing also another push. It's basically a trade. Fort for fort, that's what they're currently doing here. So yeah, they are getting the experience in this case. And to the top lane, you can once again see that even with that fort falling, it is still Virtus.pro who's in the lead, and they are starting to pressure the wall at the keep. And that is starting to become a problem for Alternate Fantasy, because they are losing some very important structures here. They have also... Oh, Zagara actually dead. Gets the Maw in, but Zagara is down. They were jumping in. Look at that. Kuni-chan and BKB were going deep for this one, and it looks like they can go through this wall as well. Starfall has been used. Tyrande went in this case into battle momentum. As mentioned before, she goes for an auto attack build with Seasoned Marksman that she's currently using. But it's a 5 versus 4 situation with the 13 talent already being ready, and that is now pretty nasty for Alternate Fantasy. They're really starting to struggle here. I mean, what are you gonna do against this? They're currently waiting for an opportunity to maybe turn this around, but they don't have the extra talent just yet. They're moving in again with another attempt, but Illidan is just barely getting away there. The stun against Draga, and he is getting dropped. Very well played here. Great moves, and once again, a better position for Virtus.pro. They jump in, they lost Kuni-chan, but the Ghost on Leoric is still with them. Sefka, on the other hand, has to use his Ice Block on Malfurion. He gets away for a second, but Blumby is jumping in right away. No mercy for Malfurion. 3 kills against 7. Illidan now down 2. Everybody is just getting wrecked in this case. Oh my god, once again. Oh, the coins! Web Blast already being used. Dev is rushing away. Kuni-chan is still there. Unstable is getting everything. 16 coins. All that dirty esports money. Unstable with the esports dollars, and he's gonna buy a car or two. Rushing already into the mid lane to go to his favorite vendor, which in this case is, of course, Blackheart. So, yep, there we go. Ah, but he can't turn in. But the chest's up and unstable. Look at him. That greedy little bastard there. He wants more coins. He's just like, it's not enough. I want more. Give me all your gold. So, yeah. On level 16 or 13, by the way, for Tyrande, we have Huntress Fury taken. You can gain an additional 40% attack speed when you use that talent, and that is pretty nasty if you're going for an auto attack build. So this is going to be pretty sick for Tyrande. She is definitely getting some serious damage in, especially against single targets. So that helps with Jaina being so far the only one in here. I love how Tyrande is being used as that hybrid hero, and oftentimes she was always this one-trick pony who was just used for the stun. She complained at some point. It was like just being... Yeah, just like being a little bit annoying. She'd be like, I'm more than just my stuns and my rangers trait. And apparently Virtus.pro, they listened and they said, alright girl, you can do some serious damage as well. Let's get you suited up with that Seasoned Marksman and that Hunter Killer and or the Searing Arrows, and now also the Huntress Fury. So yeah, pretty cool talents in general that we're seeing from the team. I love that they are currently experimenting a lot more with various builds for the heroes. We have really a bit of a comeback, I want to say, for Alternate Fantasy. They didn't lose a keep yet, but of course with all those coins now on the side of Virtus.pro, it's getting dangerous. Like, Virtus.pro has to turn them in though, because having the coins is one thing. Turning them in, that's a completely different matter. That's a completely different thing here. So we're seeing the bot lane falling, and Alternate Fantasy is actually just rushing towards level 16. Muradin, give him the axe! He wants the axe now, and we are seeing the True Shot aura for Tyrande after the Huntress Fury, as I already pointed out earlier on. Pretty cool. For Jaina, I'm not quite sure what she has taken there, but actually, now that I'm actually thinking about it, I guess a Numbing Blast would still make the most sense in this case. The bot lane, that is a heavy push that's happening here. The one thing, or the reason why Alternate Fantasy doesn't really want to fight just yet is because they don't have the level 16 talent, and without that it's always a risk. But the bot lane is pushing very hard. Having a double siege giant camp here definitely helps. The mid lane, they couldn't turn in. Oh, Tyrande is about to die! Tyrande is super low and just barely gets away there. Well, I guess they would have had the coins anyways, but Tyrande needs to be a little bit more careful there. She just got a lot of damage. I don't think that he realized that. 16 versus 16 now. Holy ground chosen. We have the tidal wave on Rhaegar. That's going to be good heals in the team fights. The cooldown reduction once that you heal more than 2 heroes is amazing. It's really good. So you just like use your tidal wave or your chain wave. You go in, your chain heal, you heal the targets out, you get a reduction by 3 seconds, and you can throw it out once again. They're trying to turn in round now with Unstable having 18 coins. 18 coins, and they're starting to go for the fight. But Virtus.pro, I feel like they could have really forced the issue a bit faster and tried to go for the turn-in, but now they have to fight on even talents with their opponent. They only have a 1-level lead, so it's not like they are miles ahead. They are in a decent position, or they were earlier, but that big advantage that they had just a few minutes ago is kind of gone. Oh, sniping Zagara like this is a different matter, though. Nice root on Malfurion, really well played. And with the Wraith Walk, we are seeing Kuni-chan moving in, slowing down Krolu. The stun drops Rhaegar. Very well played. They don't even turn in. Well, they have turned in already, so they use that. And also the move into the mid lane to drop now another keep, or the first one for the game. It could be the conclusion as well. That's a 5 versus 3 scenario, and they could try to go for core, or at least for keep number 2, and it looks like keep it is. They move to the bot lane. The cannonballs are attacking the top lane in the meantime, and with only 3 heroes being here for the defense and Zagara not being one of them, they are just moving in and starting to do their damage right now. Illidan can't do anything either way. I mean, like, what is he going to do? Jump into the opponent and say hi? He's going to be stunned immediately. BKB is ready with that Storm Bolt, and so is Tyrande on the Lunar Flare. They steal the camps away and try to get a few more coins. And I mean, at this point, they already have 15, now that they picked up 2 more. So they nearly have another turn-in ready. And that would drop the final keep in the game. So a very dire situation here for Alternate Fancy. There's a lot of pressure on them. They have to make a move, and they have to make it soon. They're moving into the mid lane, where we see the turn-in. BKB has 12 coins, and he's the last one to turn in. That greedy dwarf does not want to let them go. But finally, he turns them into Blackhearts, and there is that ship. Ice block being used, ancestral healing, saving Inubarak, but down goes Tyrael, and Illidan has even died before him. The explosion is not doing enough, and they move in again. Good move there on the side of Krolu, using his cleanse to make sure that Inubarak does not die right away. The problem is that he still is not able to escape, just dies a few seconds afterwards, and now we have 14 kills against 5. Virtus.pro with an amazing performance here once again, and they are just looking super solid. They play Tyrande with the damage build, and she is looking super sexy doing it, dishing out a lot of damage, probably a Nexus Frenzy here for her now as well, and there it is. So yeah, solid performance here. Virtus.pro is going to win game number 1 in this best of 3 series at the quarter-final against Alternate Fancy. Congratulations, and let's go into game number 2 to find out who is going to be able to claim the second map in this series. Virtus.pro with a victory. They take the 1-0 lead in the best of 3, successful on Blackheart's Bay, and very good performance here by them. Again, the team is definitely on the rise, and they are making waves in Europe. One of the top teams that we have on the server, and now we're moving into the second map, which is Cursed Hollow. Alternate Fancy are, of course, by no means a pushover team. They are usually known for their aggression. Against Virtus.pro on the first map, they struggled, but now we are going to find out if they can tie the series up, or if Virtus.pro is going to take the 2-0. For Virtus.pro, we have set up with 2 specialists, Zagara and Azebo. It's very, very popular to go for the 2. Actually, they have another specialist as well. They're running, in this case, also with the Vikings, which of course are amazing, and Kuni-chan is playing them to get the extra experience for his team. And that means that Leoric, who they still prioritize, is played as a single hero, the single tank in the team. Usually Leoric more in a duo tank setup. For the opponent, we have the mages. Alternate Fancy is running this now with a Kalthas and a Jaina, so that mage power from the backline is super strong in area of effect fights, and especially, of course, in Cursed Hollow, where you fight around those tributes. Having these 2 heroes is definitely a big asset to your team. It's going to be interesting to see if we are seeing, again, Virtus.pro getting enough experience with the Vikings to come through, get that lead in EXP, and therefore also a talent lead to overcome Alternate Fancy. They, of course, want to take the 2-0 victory here and move on to face Fnatic then later on in the finals, or sorry, in the semifinals. But if they can do that, that's a different matter. So, Alternate Fancy versus Virtus.pro. Cursed Hollow is map number 2. We have Virtus.pro in a 1-0 lead, and let's find out together if they can win the best of 3 series, or if Alternate Fancy ties it up. Welcome everybody to game number 2 in the best of 3 series. Virtus.pro is in the lead here at the Topachat tournament. We have to the left the Lost Vikings played by Kuni-chan. Seth Kaja is playing Rhaegar. Unstable on Azebo this time. Adilendi with the Zagara. And BKB is playing solo Leoric, which is a first for the European pro scene to see Leoric as the solo tank. Devis on Inubarak for Alternate Fancy. Muradin by Blumby. Krolu on Malfurion. Darkmog on Kalthas. And Crosby playing Jaina. So this is actually going to be quite interesting, because I personally have not seen Leoric played as a solo tank in the European pro scene yet. Most of the teams actually said that they don't really like it too much, and Virtus Pro is just saying like, well, screw that, we're gonna try it. And they are trying it against Alternate Fancy in a pretty important match here. Ho ho! Eric! Oh, Eric. Oh, that was sad. Like, poor guy. Poor guy. I mean, for now, we're... Oh, look at the pressure at the bot lane. I mean, we've been talking a bit about the setup that we're seeing here for Virtus Pro with the three specialists that they're running, especially Zagara and Azebo. They have so much damage against structures, and they are using it already. They drop a tower, and they also drain the entire ammunition of tower number 2. They just moved to the bot lane with 4 heroes and said just like, alright, let's drop this one. And yeah, the damage that they can push out against Siege is crazy. BKB and Leoric alone can really dominate a lane. What? The kill against Jaina as well? Oh my god, like what kind of an opening is that? The Vikings are soaking 2 lanes, and it's a 4-man bot lane that they're using here right now. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, they dropped both of the towers. They soak experience with the Vikings and the rest of the lanes. Having Zagara in here and an Azebo together with the Leoric is just so much siege damage. Leoric is together with Johanna probably the best tank when it comes to dominating a lane, and they're using that. They have Demolitionist run on Zagara, so they're really trying to put the pressure on now. Even adjusting their build according to that. That is solid. Very, very zergy setup. The interesting part is that with the zoning that we've seen at the top lane, we apparently still have, we have Alternate Fancy in a decent position. I mean, the structures went down, but there has been some zoning on the lanes against the Vikings, and that means that they are still on even experience, something that is a bit unexpected considering that they already have a kill and also taken down the towers. But look at the fort. The fort is still super low, and it's just trying to use the Vikings to soak the experience and just put the pressure on the bot lane. And oh, Darkmok and Krolu! Wow! Kel'Thas now dropped 2. Crosby is just running, but the dog is on his heels, and he barely survives on his Jaina. Seeing again also another move by Leoric. Oh, nearly dying here. Could get Moonfired? Nope. Cooldown is not ready. And level 5 versus level 4. Wow. They are rushing in to do the damage. Pretty scary stuff here. Feral Heart taken for Rhaegar. Seeing now also the Stormbolt talents taken on Mirren. Mirren, by the way, did not go into Perfect Storm, but still took Sledgehammer. Sefkajet takes the first tribute in the game. Netherwind for Kel'Thas. He's just like, alright, screw those stacks. We need something to stop them. Let's go Netherwind here first. And at the top lane, Bloomby is also getting rather low. I mean, he was trying to drop a tower, and he was able to do that. So that's the counter pressure that they're trying to apply, since the Vikings, of course, are mainly there for soaking and can't really fight back too hard. At least not yet. But yeah, that game is opening with a bang here. Virtus Pro is just saying, like, all your bases belong to us. They move in and try to take the game as soon as they can, and the level 7 talent is going to help them with that as well. Olaf is dead, and that means no more experience at the top lane, so they killed one of the Vikings. Gidbin has been used in level 7. We have the renewal for Leoric on level 7 for the extra healing, and there's the spin to win. Another wall gone. And Virtus Pro, they take structure after structure. Super aggressive play by them. They have now a talent lead, and that helps them to get the next tribute now too. Since there is no level 7 talent yet for Alternate Fancy. Alternate Fancy can't rotate to take this one. We have also Rapid Incubation taken for Zagara. But this game, I mean, come on. The aggression is serious. In the late game, of course, Kel'Thas is going to be the one who will definitely be able to put the numbers on the board in terms of damage, not only Jaina. And then they might be able to fight back here. Zagara and Azebo are not really known to be very tanky. And that's something that especially Nazebo is currently experiencing. Darkmok moves in. Bloomby with a kill. He uses his Mirrodin to jump in and take him out. But now Kel'Thas in trouble. BKB. Oh, they heal. Nice. Good job by Malfurion. They are about to get maybe another kill, but nope. The Fission Bomb is not delivering enough damage for this one. Level 4 talent on Malfurion for the extra heal, the extra 20% burst heal, which is usually not a lot, but he really feels like they need it at this point apparently. Didn't go into Luden's Grace, which is the standard talent on level 4 for Malfurion now, and gives you the extra range on all of your basic abilities. BKB with the Drain Hope against Krolu moves in already. Another keep is about to go down. Well, maybe not quite, but those Siege Giants are definitely helping. There's a tribute at the bot lane, and we see Alternate rotating for this one. BKB moving back again with his Wraith Walk. But this particular tribute is now ending up in the hands of Alternate Fancy. Of course, it's something that, well, they let it go. Kunichan is actually trying to get another Pebble in, and he does. Stunning it out for as long as he can, just to buy time for the rest of the team to drop the fort. And they get it. They also have a level 10. Eric sacrificed himself, but there's the Entomb, and Crosby could not get away, neither could Krolu. 4 kills against 2.5, and Virtus Pro, they just zerg them down. They go in with damage, and damage, and they have a full-on attack force here, dropping structure after structure. They go for the boss now as well. They know that they're still in the lead. Darkmog actually is checking what's happening here. He sees it, but can they do something about it? Level 11 versus level 9. That's a 2-level lead. That's the heroic that they have. That doesn't exist for the opponent. Drain Hope being used. Devis needs to move back, and he does it using the Wraith Walk. We're having the Vikings soaking the lanes again, trying to give them even more experience. Good root in the back. The boss is helping. The boss is actually helping Virtus Pro, and in comes Devis, and Uburak is ready to get an Uberakt. But nope, it is Rhaegar who dies first. Everybody on Alternate is really low though. Malfurion already dead, and Jaina dying now as well. Devis drops. The boss is gonna be taken. Muradin jumps in. He's trying to steal it. He stole it. What? Virtus Pro. What was that? Oh my god, that brain fart that they just had. Everybody moves away from the circle after Anubarak dies. And, well, Muradin looks at it and is like, I got this. Jumps in and takes the boss away. He pays with his life, but they took the boss at least. Oh my god. Virtus Pro, like, that was awkward. That was very, very awkward. Everybody was just like, alright, you take it, right? No, you take it. Well, what about you? Well, I'm already like, hey, wait a second, where's the dwarf? And the boss is down. Well, that was a bit unexpected, but they got the kills, so they got the kills. They still have the 2-level lead, and that means that we have them with an extra talent now. Heroic abilities are ready for both of the teams now, though. Jump on the Vikings, the sprint on Nazebo didn't go into Ice Block. We have also, again, the extra damage talent taken on a Drain Hope for the Auric, so the extra 10%. But yeah, that boss was brilliant. I can't believe that they let it go. They already won the fight, but they just let it go. Here comes the healing surge for Rhaegar for the extra heals. This time they're going to take it. I promise you there's going to be someone on the spot. There is definitely going to be someone there, and they immediately rush in. BKB and Sefka are both like, alright, we got this. So yeah, they move in. No miscommunication this time. There was also no battle, but still. So yeah. The bot lane, that's where we have them pushing in with the boss now, and they are already trying to zerg down these towers here. Of course, the destruction or the demolitionist talent on level 1 for Zagara is going to be put to use, or should be put to use in a second once more. They are starting to move in as the Vikings soak the top and the mid lane. The bot lane is now being assailed, and yes, there is of course Blizzard, like everything, like first there's ice, then there's fire, the boss doesn't even know what's happening. There's a flame strike, there's a blizzard, there's a phoenix, and he's just like hot, cold, make up your mind. Olaf dying, top lane now, there's a tribute, and it's gonna be a curse probably against Virtus Pro. The thing is though, they don't care. They really don't. They just move into the bot lane and to drop a keep, and they should be able to get it in Bloomby! Oh, Muradin. Muradin is dead too. The keep is down. Virtus Pro is trying to, well, move back, and could they rotate to the top and maybe you still get that tribute. The Vikings have been doing a really good job, but Eric is now about to die, and with Eric dead, I mean, that Balog is dying, but the tribute is still there. And we have heroes starting to rotate over there. And look who's still in action with his slingshot. You gotta be joking, right? Kuni-chan was able to save the tribute. No curse against Virtus Pro. They move in to take it. Like, what? Oh my god. Like, the Vikings are absolute VIP right now. That's the MVP play. We have everybody over here. Same talents, by the way, now. Flamethrower already. A nice lockdown against BKB. Wraith Walk used. They need to drop that web. Web Blast on Devis. Nah, the Maw was pretty good. And Tomb! But Leoric is dead. He's going to be back soon, but not before they take down Blumby. The Dwarf is down, and the Nubarak is just rushing away. The Beetle doesn't want to die again. And we have that Tribute still over here. The Tribute is still there. They could still go for it. It's a triple kill. 12 kills against 6.25. And this is going to be the curse against Alternate. Curse in just a second. So, Lendy moves in at the lane, starts to take down also the ammunition, but the towers are falling as BKB uses the skeletal squint to just take down one tower after another. They went actually in both of the Drain Hope talents for Leoric. Now, I didn't really think that they would do that. Normally on level 13, you definitely go for the Crushing Hope. That's a great talent to have for the extra damage that you have there. But then on level 16, going for the Unyielding Despair is not that common. Normally we are seeing, I mean, we've seen all kinds of things, ranging from Imposing Presence to Consume Vitality, which is the standard talent. In this case, it's Unyielding Despair on level 16 for him, and that means that his cooldown is being reduced every second that the talent is active. So that's pretty cool if you want to just like rush it out over and over again. So, pretty nice. Once again, guys, keep in mind that I am really watching a clean feed here, so I have no control over the camera, nor do I have any control over the talents or the stats, or I would probably show you a bit more. But still, our observer is doing a great job, and I want to thank Karma once again, the French observer here, doing a really good job. The level 13 talents, by the way, brought us also a few spell shields for Alternate Fancy. They are really trying to stay alive, but that Zergy lineup that we're seeing for the Russian team is doing work. The bot keep was already done. And the emission between done and gone, so the mid keep, that's what they took down as well. And there's only one remaining. The bosses are also coming back up again. There's still no level 16 talent for Alternate Fancy. They will need that if they want to come back. But so far for Virtus Pro, it's just an attempt to reach level 20. I mean, that's the next big thing for them. That's the milestone that they want to reach to get even farther ahead now in the situation. So, it's a pretty fun match actually that we're seeing. Like, it's very unconventional to see something like this being used. I can't remember when it was the last time that a pro team on this level, the teams were trying to zerg each other down like this. Usually it happens in Tomb of the Spider Queen when a team decides to go into an Asmodan composition and they try to play something against it. But this is a bit new and I'm loving it. Level 16 is now there. Alternate Fancy, maybe with a comeback. 2.5 levels behind. Can they make a play with Ignite? Can they use that Stone Form on Muradin? That's the big question here now, and maybe they have an opportunity to do that. If they can move in when the boss is attacked again, that would help. But level 19 is very close now for Team Virtus Pro, and that of course means that they will not have to wait too long to reach level 20. BKB, they're fighting already. The Vikings are not all there. I don't think I've seen a single longboard, by the way. They might have used it earlier, but so far in the team fights I haven't seen one. There's Balog, and, well, he is down. Olaf was there now too, so they could go for a double Viking longboat if they wanted to. Oh! Yeah, there it is. The longboat saving Olaf. That was the only thing that it did. And up here to the top. First boss taken. The rotation of Alternate Fancy is too late. Not this time. And yeah, to the bot lane we have of course another boss and also a tribute spawning. That might be a curse tribute if they move someone down there, if they rotate, because I think... Oh, nice. Oh, that was naughty. That was naughty. The wall of zombies into Entomb. There was no chance for Jaina to ever get out of this one. She's just like in the wall of zombies and she's like, alright, ice block, I got this. Just a few more seconds, I'm gonna be safe. And then Leoric is like, the warmth of life has entered my tomb. And bam, drops it. Down goes Jaina. Job well done here. Sledgehammer, by the way, is also a talent that really helps against the bosses. The thing is, though, that there's so much pressure on the lane now with the third keep gone that there's very little that Alternate can do. The level 20 talents are in play, and Leoric, in this case, went for the Spectral Leech. So there you get extra damage on your basic attacks, and also, of course, the Life Leech. Great play by Virtus Pro. A very entertaining match that they played here. A bit unconventional, but I loved every second of it. Web Blast being used, you can actually hear it. And this is the second game, the 2-0 for Virtus Pro. They take down Alternate Fancy in the best of 3 series here at the Topachat tournament and move on to face Fnatic in a best of 5 in the semi-final. And another victory by Virtus Pro. A 2-1 victory in the best of 3 series against Alternate Fancy. Solid performance by them, really well played here, and without any problems they move on to the semifinals of the Topachat tournament to face Fnatic in a best of 5. So already very promising performance by them. Makes me definitely wonder how they are going to fare against the new lineup of Fnatic, because that should be a pretty exciting match. Virtus Pro definitely very strong these days, and we're gonna find out how they can deal with Fnatic in the semi-final. Congratulations again for winning the quarterfinal here. Great job against Alternate Fancy. I hope that you guys enjoyed the commentary in the games. If you did, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube, and of course make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet, if you want to see more Heroes of the Storm content here in Khaldor TV. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hope you guys had a blast. I'm going to see you next time with more Heroes of the Storm. Have a great day, and bye-bye.